Hey everyone, I'm here with Danielle Pinnock. She stars as Miss Ingram, young Sheldon's math teacher in the hit CBS show, Young Sheldon. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Veronica Barriga. You're watching Mini Spotlight, and I am here with the very talented and lovely Danielle. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm doing very, very good.
All right. So let's get into this. So you play Miss Ingram, young Sheldon's math teacher.
Yes.
I know, the thought is just like, wait a minute. I can already, that character dynamic is one thing. But talk about your character, because she's not like a regular teacher.
No. She's very tightly wound, high-strung, and she went to Oral Roberts University.
Okay.
And Sheldon is absolutely smarter than anyone at the school, and she hates being corrected by him.
Yeah, so what is that character dynamic like? Because you are tightly wound, and he's a boy genius. So what kind of fun do you guys get into, or you know, sort of I guess tidbits, or like,
yeah, absolutely. The great thing is Iain Armitage is a joy to work with, and he plays young Sheldon. And I mean, backstage we have so many jokes, and there's a lot of improv, and I think with being on set, we just try not to make each other laugh. That's the thing, because he has such great facial expressions, and I'm always trying to make him laugh, and we just have a ball. It's a family on that set. I love it.
Yeah. Do they leave room for improv, or do you
sometimes?
Yeah.
Some takes we'll do a little bit of improv, and then when we watch, I'm like, oh, that made it. So it's really cool.
Much fun. I love that. So you actually got to work with Jon Favreau, right? He directed the pilot.
Absolutely.
Big time, great actor and director. Who was that like working with Jon?
Listen, I was so nervous because when I auditioned, it was the day before the first read, and I had no idea what the project was because it was Untitled. And I said, okay, another pilot. Let me just go in, see what happens.
Wow.
I only had 2 hours to prepare for that audition. It was a same-day audition.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And my manager said, you know, just go to CBS, see what happens. We'll just pray on it. And literally, I found out I got cast as Miss Ingram that evening.
Wow.
The next day I walked in, I still had no idea what I was walking into. And Jon Favreau was there, Jim Parsons, the whole Big Bang Theory cast, Iain Armitage. I mean, anyone that you can think of. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is Sheldon. This is what's happening.
What a pleasant surprise.
I know, it was incredible, and working with me, he's such a joy to work with, and all of the directors that we've had so far have just been amazing.
Oh my God, so they do this, they keep it under wraps because they don't want to get out into the press and everything. So okay, then maybe that was good. Maybe you would have been a little extra nervous.
Yeah, I would have been so nervous because the Big Bang Theory is so huge, and to know that this is the prequel, I would have been flatlined.
Well, you did it, girl. You're doing it. So before Young Sheldon, you did some great shows.
Yeah.
You did This Is Us.
Yeah.
You were on Get Shorty and Workaholics. A lot of range there. What is a show that you would love to make an appearance on? Like sort of a...
You know, I love the show Blackish, and I also love Claws. That is a show that I'm watching now. I love Claws with Niecy Nash. I think that show is brilliant.
Okay.
And also, I think they filmed down south. It'd be nice to do a little traveling. Film down south, and I really, I've been watching Smilf recently with Frankie Shaw. Love that show as well too. So those are definitely ones.
Shout out to those casting directors.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna actually throw in there another one, 911 with Angela Bassett.
Yes,
that show is incredible.
It really is.
Incredible. She's so great on there.
Yeah. So, okay, so you actually have a really exciting project coming up. Tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, so I'm doing a podcast right now called Shook, and it is about performers with anxiety, depression, and mental health, anything that's going on.
Every actor in Los Angeles.
And the reason I wanted to do it is because of that. I realized that there was this commonality between my friends, myself, and anyone that I would run into, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm depressed, I'm this. And I was like, why is that always the case with performers, specifically comedians? And, you know, I'm actually reading this book by Jennifer Lewis right now called The Mother of Black Hollywood, and she talks about her dealing with being bipolar, having bipolar disorder, but the way she does it is in such a comedic manner, because she's a comedian, she's an entertainer. And I said, you know what? I think I need to do this for real. So I'm in the interview process right now, and it'll debut in March.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And what is it? Are you gonna have like different guests on, or, or co-hosts? Or, okay.
Yeah, it'll just be me doing the interviews, and I come from a very long line of interviewing. I've been interviewing people since I was 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what it turns into. We'll play some games. We're gonna keep it real light and just kind of bring attention to mental health in the industry.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Whenever you combine two things like that, you know, it's something special. So before you came to Los Angeles, you did this amazing play, one-woman show that you wrote and starred in. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. The show started as my master's dissertation project.
Okay.
When I went overseas for grad school at the Birmingham School of Acting, which I think now is called the Royal Conservatoire.
Oh, fancy.
They changed the name on me. But we had to have a project that was a solo piece, something that meant a lot to us, and body image has been a recurring theme in my family for so many, I mean, it's just generational.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I want to focus on that. So I interviewed 5 women. Ranging from topics of a young woman who was Muslim and had her freckles removed.
Oh, wow.
The first plus-size actress to be accepted into a graduate program in ACT, a trans surgeon.
Okay.
So there was so many, a burn survivor. So there were so many different voices.
Yeah.
And the audience just loved it. And I was like, you know what, I think I need to keep working on this. And cut to 5 years later, I got my world premiere at the Rivendell Theater in Chicago.
Amazing.
And had interviewed over 350 people and then included my own story as well. So
wow.
Their stories kind of reflect on me and my growing up in a Jamaican household with my grandma, and it's very comedic, but there's definitely some moments of thought that are there as well too.
I can, and it's called Body Courage, by the way, but yeah, I can imagine the humanity behind that piece. I did read that you interviewed 300 people, and I was like, is that true? I mean,
yeah.
is that,
oh yeah.
Was that a requirement, or is that just something that you personally
You know what? I ended up on this journey. I mean, for many years, I was just interviewing people. It was kind of like the floodgates were opened once the show premiered, and everyone wanted to tell me their story. And I said, you know what? I'm open to it. Let's hear it. And the show went through many different revisions, and I would just perform as the people on stage. And I think that's the fun and also scary part, because a lot of them do come to see themselves. They're bringing their family. They want to make sure the dialect is right. And I got to shout out my voice coach, Jack Wallace, because he had me on point. I was doing dialects of Mumbai, Olympian, Northern Irish priest, British women. I mean, it's just a range. My grandma, she's Jamaican. I come from a big Jamaican family.
Okay.
And just getting the physicalities, all of it was, you know, it was hard, but it was so rewarding when people would come at the end and say, thank you for sharing my story. And we had at the end of the show, I asked the question kind of, what do you feel about your body and what is your definition of the word beautiful? And I would give the audience members Post-it notes.
Oh my God, I love
and at the end of the show, the walls were covered in Post-its, and it was just...
That's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's
I want to watch it.
Yeah.
You got to bring it to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I would love to. I'm thinking about it in the summer sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, the theater I would love to work with is the Geffen Playhouse.
Okay.
They gave me my first job when I was here in Los Angeles last year, so we'll see.
There you go. So you know, aside from this work that you did for Body Courage, you actually are an activist for the body positivity movement. For those who may not know, what does that entail?
So body positivity, for me specifically, what I would say, because everyone has their own definition.
Sure.
I would say it's the uncovering of the things that you feel most negative about your body and loving those things is very hard.
Okay, yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times, especially, and I can only speak as being a plus-size woman in this industry, we are tailored to having a couple very specific roles, where it's the funny friend or the nurse or you know, the maid. I mean,
it could be limiting.
It can be very limiting, and I wanted the reason why I started Body Courage in particularly is because I knew that I could play many different roles, and I wanted casting kind of to see that. But then it turned into this whole this whole little project. But I never wanted to limit myself, and I think for me, body positivity is doing that. It's not limiting yourself. It's looking yourself in the mirror and saying, "Listen, I may have this little cheat show back here, but I'm gonna love it fiercely, exactly, fiercely, and just really truly."
Yeah, that's such a real message, and it's such an important message, especially in this industry where people are really harsh. You know, it's such an objective industry. So we need more of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you are an activist. You're an actress. What are people surprised to learn about you?
Surprised. I think the biggest thing that I've gotten recently is that I just started in TV last year. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people are like, "Oh, what shows have you done?" I'm like, "This Is Us" was my first TV show right out the gate. Yeah, so big. I'm a newbie on set, and sometimes I get nervous on set because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, these are legendary people," and I'm like, "Keep your cool, keep your cool. Don't be a fangirl. Don't fangirl out." But I think a lot of people are surprised to know that I'm just now starting in TV, but I've been doing theater for 10 years, so that background gave me what I needed.
Well, if you can do theater and a woman show, you can do anything. So, yeah,
but for so many years, I was nervous about what would I look like on television. I don't know, and my agents, Stuart Talent, I just have to thank them because you know what, try it and see what happens, and thank God I did.
Oh wow, yeah. So what was that? So you were in Chicago, and then when did you tell us about making the move out here? What sort of drove that for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So in 2016, I auditioned for my first television project. It was a show on HBO, and ended up screen testing for it. Oh wow. And my agent said, "You know what? We told you need to do this. We need to do this TV thing." Yeah. So they brought the black car into my little hood in Chicago. I was so excited. And I actually didn't end up getting that role, but casting, they were so excited for me, and they said, we think you should come out here. Oh, wow. And then I got a job understudying at the Geffen Playhouse in a show called Barbecue with Coleman Domingo, directing. And I said, you know what? Let me make the move out here. And it was a complete faith move. I didn't have a lot of contacts out here. It was just my best friend Latifah, my other best friend Dave Vine, Joy Randolph, and I knew they were in the industry. And I said, ladies, I'm coming out here. Who got a couch? So me and my husband and I, we came up here. We stayed on my best friend's, Latifah Holder, her air mattress for like a couple of weeks.
These are the stories we live for.
Yes, and we just did it, but it was, we had no furniture in our house when we first came here.
You have furniture now?
We do. We have it. We got it all. Living spaces is my jam. We got all the stuff. Living spaces. But yeah, no, it was just kind of like we just didn't really have a lot. We had the support of our parents, and it was really just a dream and a faith move. So I said, you know what? Let me just do it. And I'm so happy that I did.
Yeah, you just went for it.
Yeah.
I love that. You got to live, fearlessly.
Absolutely.
Especially as a dreamer, we do that. Some people think it's crazy, but that's how you make things happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was watching recently. Oprah was saying there's no wrong decisions, and I really believe that. I truly believe that whatever decision you make, the right one will come along. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just you just got to go for it and see what happens.
I love it. All right, and where can people find you on social media?
Absolutely, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram @BodyCourage.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.